What's up guys, BOTCG here, back with another deck profile. This is another one that I recently revised. Like my Greed on deck profile, has not gotten any set 8 support whatsoever. I'm not using any set 8 cards, but I revised the way that I play the deck and changed out some of the core cards that I was playing for ones that more suited the archetype and what the deck is trying to do. So let's get into it. DUALMAJESTAR ride line. Nothing much to talk about here. Let's get into our grade 3s. Let's go. Let's put that there. Yeah, that works. 3 copies of DUALMAJESTAR. You basically want to get this out of your deck with the grade 1 as soon as possible. 4 copies of the grade 3 Chimera. This is such a great card in the deck. It has intercept. It's a 10k shield. Like, bro, it's an 18k when you call it. This is such a good card in this deck, and it's searchable off of your in-archetype cards. And it souls a card from hand to draw a card, so like it gets rid of dead cards at the same time. I love this card. I love this card. And then, man, I'm not gonna lie, guys, people clowned me, and I might have been rightfully clowned for not playing Celosphere in my DUALMAJESTAR Mass deck, because I felt like I didn't need it. I felt like the, what was it, the sword? Like the King Arthur sword that you can put into soul to countercharge. I felt like that one was just better because I was only ever playing one of this. I didn't feel like I needed the countercharge super heavy in that deck, but this deck does need the countercharge. The 3 triggers into soul comes up, like it comes up, but more often than not, you're not putting 3, you're putting like 2 or 1. But you're playing this strictly because it's an in-archetype way of countercharging, man, and it's good, and again, it is searchable off of your in-archetype cards, which I love. And then for my Regilis piece, I'm playing 1 copy of Evergreen Transfer. I was playing the Fire Regalis. I changed it to Transfer just to have a defensive piece that I, again, can search off of Plutonic Prospector. You're running 12 grade 3s in total that are searchable off of Plutonic Prospector, and then 3 grade 3s that are searchable off of your, Shiggity, what was that girl's name again? The pink girl. That are searchable off of your Bifrons. But that is my grade 3 lineup. We're running 12 grade 3s in total. Moving on to our grade 2s. Playing 4 copies of Stroingberg Chimera. Originally, I was only playing 3 because my logic was like I can always get another one. But having the extra Stroingbergs really helped out in cases of I've actually run out of, because I know people like to, they like to play extra DUALMAJESTARs because they don't want to pull crits out of their deck. I don't mind pulling crits out of my deck because pulling crits out of my deck make my unit stronger. So as long, like, it's a resource, baby, and I'm going to use it. So I've never really felt too terrible about pulling crits out of my deck with Bifrons. But there was games where I ran out of crits, and I ran crits to pull out, and I ran out of, you run out of these like turn 3. Like turn 3, like all of these are out of deck already. So that's my main reasoning for playing all the core cards that I want to use at 4 in case I can't just resurrect them from the drop zone off of Bifrons. And then playing 4 copies of Griffith Chimera. Instead of Griffith Chimera, I was playing, here, let me move this out the way so we can actually see her. I'm playing 4 copies of Griffith Chimera now. I was playing, instead of it, 3 extra copies of Short Sparta in the main deck. My logic was, if I'm going second, Short Sparta unlocks my full, it unlocks my full Bind 5 ability to be able to restand a rearguard as well. Because more often than not, you can consistently bind 3, but getting bind 5 on your first grade 3 turn without Short Sparta isn't really possible. So that was my original logic for running her, but I kind of, like, revising the deck, I kind of went back to the logic of I only need her going second, and she was like a strong attacker and a strong booster, but she's also a grade 1 at the same time, which I can't intercept with, and it's kind of kind of weird on my board. It made it to where it's like I opened up hands of like full of chalk, full of grade 1s that I can do like really cool rush plays on like turn 2 and turn 1 of the game. But I decided to cut her completely because we'll always have access to 1. We won't have access to the restand on our first grade 3 turn. I know I was raving about that, but I feel like you amass enough pressure from the triple drive, from the crit and triple drive. I keep forgetting she gets a crit. She isn't like Mask. From the crit and triple drive that the restand is negligible in my opinion. This deck definitely wants to go first. It most definitely wants to go first, unless it's against certain decks that you just can't let go second. But going first or second, the game plan is solid enough in my opinion. And then going on to the key card of the deck, playing 4 copies of Bifrons. She is your all-star. You use all your energy on her. You don't have anything else you want to use energy on because she's that girl, man. She drains your pockets. She uses all of your energy, man. And the fact that you can use her as early as, if you're going second, you can use her as early as turn 1 of the game is so cool. This is so awesome. It is such a great card in this deck. It's card advantage. It's graveyard recursion on a stick, bro. Like, man, the fact that if your opponent doesn't get rid of this, that it just keeps recurring cards on top of the on place is just really nice. So yeah, 4 copies of Bifrons. She's my baby girl. And then 4 copies of Plutonic Prospector. Plutonic Prospector, again, he just lets you search out all of your grade 3s. That's why we're running kind of a high grade 3 count, which technically, regardless, you're going to have to play a high, kind of high of a grade 3 count. But it kind of is what it is. And he also gets shield, so he's a shield boy as well. So I opted to lower the... I kind of lowered the aggressive power output of this deck for a little bit of defense on the back end. Because I found, whereas I can do my full combo going first or going second, well, going first, you're going to have to wait until your opponent's grade 3 regardless, but going, like, you could do the full combo, but I was lacking in that defensive department, in my opinion. So I kind of feel a little bit more in control with the changes that I have made. And then we're playing 2 copies of this Mage card that came out in set 7 that I think I saw maybe one JP list playing this card, but I didn't see any other list playing this card. And it makes sense to play, and I was playing, this is another change that I made from the other list, is where I took out Felias. And instead of Felias, I'm playing Destroying Chimera at 4. I'm playing the grade 3 Chimera, Arctic Chimera at 4. And I'm playing 4 of the Griffith Chimera. And I'm playing 2 of this grade 2 Mage that when the unit in front of her stands, you can Soul Blast 1 to restand her. And she has an on place that lets you Soul Charge a trigger from the drop zone, which is really nice as well. If you have Mayor of Almajestar, which again, this works immediately. So the reason I'm only running this at 2 is because you only ever need 1 on board. I'm just running 2 to see it. But theoretically, whenever I have 1 in rotation, I can always have it with Bifrons. So that is my logic for playing this. But it's gonna ideally make my attack patterns more strong. Instead of like I swing a Destroying Chimera, first attack for 25. If I placed it that turn, it'll then swing for 33. And then Destroying Chimera is going to restand. And then with the power from the front row off of DUALMAJESTAR, it's going to be 38 with a crit by itself. Not counting any potential triggers that we put on top of it. So, just overall makes the attack patterns a little bit more sexier, in my opinion. But moving on to the rest of the deck. 3 DPGs, 1 Blitz Elementaria. Nothing much to say there. 1 of the Dark States, put this here? Yeah, you could still see it. 1 of the Dark States Overtrigger. You guys know I love this Overtrigger. If I could ban Overtriggers, I would, but because we have to play them, if I'm playing a Dark States deck, man, and the Dark States Overtrigger works in that deck, I'm playing it, dude. Bro, you have this effect for the entire game after you check it. It turns your threatening Vanguard, if you already have a threatening Vanguard, it turns your Vanguard into a mega threat that you can just never, like when you check this, at a certain point in the game, your opponent can never take your Vanguard swing. Period. She'll have 3 crits every time she swings. They can never take that. Period. And then moving on to the rest of the triggers. 3 of the shield fronts. I haven't felt like I needed the Into Soul fronts in this list. I do still need to do more testing. Like, this is one of the decks that I've been labbing it, but I wanna play it out in the wild. So I don't feel like I needed it, but we'll do a little bit more play testing and see whether or not that's actually true. Because you have so many ways to get triggers into your soul, man. So many ways in this deck to get triggers into your soul. And then 4 into soul crits. It actually has come up in this deck, funny enough. So, because crits matter so much in this deck. So you could theoretically boost with it first, tuck it to soul, give 2k to something, and then swing with your Vanguard and then bind it. So this actually has merit being in this deck, where more often than not, it doesn't have merit being in the deck that it's in. 4 regular critical triggers, and then 4 regular heal triggers. This is my Almajestar deck, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I do have my Jejewel deck. That's the one where it's very, not too heavy theory, but I want to try something different because of the way that the deck is currently set up, that you just have, you eat up so many resources in that deck that I wanted to take a different avenue on it and see whether or not that works. But see y'all in the next one. Later.